This is For Clients Only, a podcast by Harvest Advisors. I'm David Rucki.
And I'm Sean Cook.
It's been since we last talked and got a chance to get in front of all of you. A lot's been happening. Some fun stuff in the news. We're obviously going to touch on some of the geopolitical news and market news, but some interesting things have happened since. One of which was we sent astronauts to outer space to circle the moon. Well, to go around the moon.
Farther than anyone has ever gone before.
I found this fascinating. I remember that, particularly in the 80s, as a kid, we'd all we'd be in class typically, and they'd wheel in a big clunky television and we'd watch the coverage of the space shuttle launches. And it was for the first time in decades, my wife, my daughter, we sat and we actually watched it. It was as exhilarating as I kind of remember it. I feel bad we haven't done that much lately, but absolutely fascinating. I have one gripe.
What's that?
One gripe. In all the years that they've been doing space launch or shuttle launches, we get the same ineffective coverage towards the very end when we've zoomed in so far, and every little moment, every little jiggle of the camera. Can we not figure that out? Have we not advanced better where we can have a really crisp, clean, stable image all the way up?
There's got to be a way.
There's got to be a way.
If they can come screaming into the atmosphere protected by a heat shield this thick.
Well, talk to me. Isn't that...
They should be able to fix that. I agree.
We talk about the ride up.
Yeah.
But just about the ride back, that's got to be incredible.
Yeah. I saw, there was a picture I saw from the International Space Station of the capsule coming down, like you'd see the heat shield ablating and stuff. It was amazing. So yeah, and they, interestingly, they had to whatever you call it, change the trajectory slightly of the reentry because they knew sending this crew up, the mission before, which was unmanned, they found there were some problems with the heat shield. Right. So they actually changed the trajectory so that they had slightly less whatever.
Don't hit the side that's not made as well.
Yeah, something. I know.
Don't show the bad side.
But it was remarkable, the images, but also just for me, similar. Grew up a bit, before you, but the same thing. I was one of the kids with, there was like rockets in the space program and all that when there was the enthusiasm coming out, in the 60s and early 70s about that. And it was just nice to have that kind of pride in the fact that, an unbelievable achievement like that could happen. And it's really the first step to a lot of things. So it's great news. So we wanted to bring some happy news in that.
Yeah, there you go. Just before we leave off that, so then this was Artemis 2's mission and I haven't read enough, but what's is the next iteration of this to land on the moon again, or are we still going to do a couple more laps?
Yeah, right. I don't think we're doing the same laps again.
Okay.
I don't know. I think
this is all in preparation of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. More moon landings and a permanent presence, perhaps. A lot of P's there. So anyway, that was something that was recent, which we both thought was interesting. There's a lot of other sort of happy, interesting news things. You have to look a little harder than the regular headlines, and that's that is one of the things. Like, to get it out of the way, the markets are doing fine, but they are still at the moment really just subject to what's going on geopolitically. If things, if we have a new incident or a few bad days, markets have trouble. Overall, the markets are showing strength and trying to look through that this conflict might be, maybe resolved in some fashion. And so that's what markets do. There's a lot to talk about, but that's like the big issue on the horizon. I don't think anyone truly knows where that's going to go. So that's the big bummer in the news lately. There's a lot of stuff, but we talked about that last time. So we wanted to let, to mention that we're still quite looking quite hard at a lot of the news around that and the implications, but nothing more to talk about it really on.
Yeah, and even putting the geopolitical unrest aside, we also domestically have earnings season starting up.
Yes.
So that will affect markets positive or negatively, as well as next month, another decision from the Fed and where we go with interest rates.
Right.
So, we'll keep continuing to
Right.
have conversations around the conflict in Iran, but as well as monitoring what's going on domestically with some policy and earnings reports.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Well, one of the big pieces of news that I thought was very interesting to me was the election in Hungary, which just wrapped up shortly ago. And the enormous headline out of that is that Peter Magyar won in sweeping fashion, won the elections between him and Viktor Orban for president of Hungary, and his party won. And this is a groundswell movement from the people of Hungary who had spent now 16 years in an environment where an autocrat gradually took over the courts, gerrymandered districts, installed crony, and had basically a very corrupt system that did not in any way reflect the will of most of the people, and became Putin's voice into the EU. Also was the funnel for a lot of Russian oil money into the West to fund extremism in our country and others. And so it's really a revolutionary period for the people in Hungary, and showed that they were able to overcome an illiberal democracy that had just gone into decline. And so it's a very interesting time. And very interestingly, they won so many seats because it had been over gerrymandered by Orban and his party over time. And now when it flipped, they will actually, it appears, have power to be able to fix a lot of things that most of the people in Hungary wanted fixed. So a very positive story for, democracy and freedom,
but also for that part of the world in that region. Can say maybe democracy is needed.
So what other fun or interesting things came across your desk, your feed recently?
Well, I'll tie it into better weather. And this time of year, I got a chance to play my first round of golf this past weekend. Happened to be the same weekend as the Masters. No, I did not play the Masters. I know. But it's just, you talk about a beautiful scenery in Philadelphia around spring, in Augusta, Georgia, and that course, probably the prettiest golf course you'll ever see. Really fun. Just watch Rory McIlroy win his second green jacket in a row. Only the fourth player to ever do that back to back, which comes on the heels of last year, where he was only the sixth person to ever complete the career Grand Slam, which is all of the majors in a career, which is fantastic. I just wish I could play like that. I really do. I wish I could play like that, but it's a lot of fun. I love this time of year. Also, time of recording, probably by the time you're watching it, it's either tax day or just shortly after tax day. We know you all got your taxes filed on time. But a couple of tips or a couple of thoughts around what you could be preparing for?
Yeah, but one of the things which it's a planning technique that we've used with a number of clients, and we thought we'd mention it because it's around tax day. When people transition into retirement and they no longer have an income and have, where they're getting a paycheck and having money deducted for taxes and all that, one of the, not huge, but interesting shifts for a lot of people is all of a sudden they become subject to needing to do estimated taxes 4 times a year. And, it interrupts their cash flow. It's not like a little bit taken out automatically. And then, it's something that people have to get used to. When folks are in the age where they have to start taking required minimum distributions from their retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, that sort of thing, you can select to have a certain amount withheld for federal taxes. So the payment comes out, a little portion goes automatically. I don't know how that come out. Goes off automatically to the government, and then you receive the rest. And then when tax time rolls around next year, you have tax statements and you've already, paid X amount from that withholding. If you calculate it right, we've worked with a number of clients. We can do sort of extra withholding from those, or enough withholding, so that they're not subject to having to do estimated tax payments, which is kind of a nice thing.
Yeah, I think it's more the convenience of it, especially if you're so used to an income stream coming in, twice a
Right.
month or once a month, however you're paid. Then all of a sudden, every quarter you've got to shell out some money.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity just to kind of sort of smooth it out a little bit. Well, I hope everyone has a fantastic week ahead. It's going to be beautiful if you're here in the Northeast. Get out, enjoy that sun, and we will chat with you in the next episode.
All right. See you later.
Take care.